Hi, Eddie. uh, Here are some websites I hope to talk about today. Um, uh, so I'm going to put them in the chat for the membership on the membership website. Okay. I hope to get to these. And let's see if I could get this into um, Facebook or YouTube. That's what I mean. YouTube. I'll try to get it into YouTube now. Is calling them. It's not so bad. But people, if you haven't done it before, you think it's over. Sorry. YouTube channel. Okay, I'm slowly getting there in YouTube and cut and paste this. Slowly getting there before it changes again. Wow. Do we have people? Okay. Okay, I think I got it there on YouTube, so you guys can see this also. Because what's going on, don't forget, Trump's trying to change a lot, okay, but the amount of money they're giving out, you can't change that, but that's already baked in the system. So they have, an average of $18,000 to give out in grants for individuals living in America. So programs are out there. Unfortunately, there's about 600,000 to 800,000 programs. So that's why I see it goes from the federal government to the state government, then the state adds some, then your city, then they add some, then the county adds some and everything. And so most of it is really local. And that's what he wanted. And there's always more than one source for anything. So if the federal government, if you get from Washington and Trump, money for rent assistance, by the time that gets down, everybody adds more money, and you'll have maybe 50 to 100 additional programs to help you pay for rent assistance. So it's not only the federal government. You have to think of the money that way, that it's just not one spigot that comes down. So you hear the news from Washington because they like bragging about what they're doing, but even what they're doing really isn't affecting the money. But what is affecting it now, what they're able to do, is fire people. So I think that's the only, they can't change the amount of money, increase or decrease, because that takes the Congress. And Congress doesn't do much anymore. So, except trying to get tax breaks, and that's what they're focusing on now, to renew the tax breaks. And really the tax break, here's what happened, and they want to renew this. This is the tax break that happened for the last Trump administration. See, this is the rich people, the top 10%, this is the bottom of 10%. So it's like $1.5 trillion, but 50% of it went to the top 10% of the people. And the bottom 10% got nothing. Really, what do they get? Less than 1%. Okay, so they're getting less than 1% of the people, the bottom 10%. And the top 10% are getting the IRS. So that means you don't have to pay taxes. We have laws that have people pay taxes, and that's another thing, is people are not paying their taxes. And that's what's causing our deficit. That's what's causing money not being around. There's actually now, they estimate, and this is from the IRS themselves, about $1 trillion a year in unpaid taxes. So people are not paying taxes, $1 trillion worth. Now they want to give more money to the rich people. Now they're the people that should be paying taxes, I would think. So why would they get it? And they're after SNAP cheating. And the SNAP cheating, for the food assistance program, they estimate that the cheating represents $10 billion, okay? And Medicaid, they want to go after because of cheating there, they say. And the estimate for that is $80 billion. So SNAP is 10, 80 is, Medicaid is $80 billion and of cheating. But $1,000 billion in tax cheating. So we have 1,000 billion, which means a trillion. We're at 100 billion. Yeah, that's 100 billion, I'm sorry. So 100 billion in cheating on taxes and 10 billion in cheating on SNAP. So we're going after the SNAP cheaters and not the big thing, which, 10 times bigger, is the tax cheaters. So that's a personal thing. But now you're living in the middle of this. So you have to deal with this, okay? And there's a couple of rules of thumb. And also, everything's going to get harder. We look like we're going to have a recession because of who the heck really knows. I got an MBA and a business student my whole life, and I still don't know. And even all the economists, everybody's guessing. But it certainly looks like we're in the trouble. And so you have to be careful and start looking at these programs that will keep you afloat. Okay, and there's a couple of places to do this and how to do this. If you go, there's a great website that people don't think about because it's called singlemotherguide.com. So this website is called singlemotherguide.com. Now we have a lot of this information, and this is what it does, is state by state, and it does it a little better for us, at least for these programs. We show you state by state all the government money programs for everything, but they for the basic, because every state, every county, every citizen is eligible for, there's about 7 to 12 programs that are the safety net programs that everyone should know about because you're probably going to need them soon, if not now. And the incomes aren't what you used to. Now, don't forget, in determining whether you're eligible or not, every program have different income requirements. So that's why when you go to a program and they say, you make too much money, that's okay, and you have to follow that rule. But there's dozens of other programs that do the same thing or that have different income requirements. So every program has different income requirements. And like for rent, if you go to rent now, and there's a program for the National Program for Rent, and they have an income requirement, but you want to find more programs with different income requirements, you go to findhelp.org, put in your zip code, and then put in rent. And in my zip code, there's 80 programs, actually I think 79. 80 programs that help people pay rent. Every program has a different income requirement. So that's why when you say that you called and they say you make too much money, that's just for that one program. You can't live like that. It's sort of like asking one person for a date and they say, no, I can't get a date. No, you only ask one person. There's 300 million people in this country. So you have a long way to go. And the same thing with rent. Man, okay, no, you only asked one program. Here, if you go to findhelp.org, you'll see 79 other places. Well, it depends. Every city, every zip code will be different. And then you have the problem. And this is what's really important. And people are going to Google and finding people who will help you, and they call you right back. They want to help you because they want to get money from you, okay? That's why if you don't have money, you can't go to Google. Please don't go to Google if you don't have money, because all you're going to get is people who want to get money from you, and you don't have money. That's why you're looking for help. You don't have money. So it's silly to go into a bar and you want to quit drinking. No, you're not. That's not good practices. Maybe you could not get out of the bar without drinking, but most likely not. Okay. So the same thing with Google. Maybe you could get out of there finding local people, but most likely not. So just stay away. The only people you want to talk to are those that have websites that end in .gov or .org. Okay, let's go back to these basic programs, and that's a .com. So call me a hypocrite. But it's a good website. I mean, I know all this stuff. I've been studying for 50 years. You know, I could smell a rat when I see it. But this has every state listed there. And every state has all the basic programs, okay? And how to apply, what the requirements are. Everything is there. So it's important that you know how to do this. And you go to your state, maybe it's Arizona or whatever it is. Oh, let's see what Arizona has. Okay. Okay, there's cash. You can get up to $250 in cash. You get food, $500. You get summer food, $120. You get WIC. You get utility up to $600. Actually, all and daycare. Yeah, you get and Medicaid. All that adds up to like $10,000 a month. I mean, it can. You know, it depends on what city you're in and what programs you're asking for. But that's the amount. That's that's over $100,000 a year just in government programs. And so that's why you have to look into this. I mean, and they have emergency cash assistance. That's another thing. Every city has this for emergency cash assistance. And so you want to know about those. Let's see, and they tell them, they have a listing. They go through all of the work study, those that want to go to school and get paid for that, temporary assistance for needy families. How can I get money as a diversion cash assistance. Diversion cash assistance, also known as emergency cash assistance, is designated to provide immediate assistance in times of emergency. Now, a lot of this says for single moms, but it's for everybody. You know, they're just doing this because their website is aimed at single moms. So that's the emergency diversion cash assistance. Okay, and here the maximum is up to $2,500. Okay, and like New Jersey has a maximum of $750, and Colorado has a maximum of $2,500. So that's emergency cash assistance. Okay. How do you find that? Well, go to this website, singlemotherguide.com, or go to findhelp.org. Findhelp.org, put in your zip code and look under emergency emergency financial assistance. Let's see what we get on my findhelp.org. Okay, put in my zip code, 9. Another 0, 9, and then I put emergency cash assistance. Okay, let's see what. Okay, 205. 205 organizations that give out emergency cash assistance. Now, I think that's enormous. Sure, a lot of them you're not eligible for, but remember, every one of these organizations help people who have financial problems. Every one of these organizations help people who have financial problems. You have to realize that and realize that we have such an army of people in every city that help people with financial problems, but you don't know because they don't advertise. You'll never see them in Google, because Google wants you to advertise if you're in there. Otherwise, you're going to be on page 80,000. And you'll get 200,000 websites, and every one of those websites you find in Google are people that want to get money from you. So you don't want to go to Google. If you have money, then go to Google. Bless your heart, and pay people to help you with problems. If you don't have that, you cannot go to Google. Please. All it's going to do is cause you in more trouble, because you think that will be a savior, and you think you'll be able to get out of your trouble. If you give them money, you'll go borrow money or do whatever, put it on credit card that you can't afford, and do that. No, you can't do that. Please, please don't do that, okay? And one thing about the single moms website, they don't have financial problems here, Saul. So these are just the programs that give you money. What's really more important, I mean, you can talk to them too, because they'll know about other programs. See, everybody giving out money for someone who needs it also knows about other programs that you and I don't study and don't know. So it's important for you to just talk to these people. Talk to people who give out free money. And these are national programs, so they're a little more crowded than the other ones. That's why, make sure you apply to these programs, but to find something larger than these. That's what you have to do, because everyone's not eligible for everything. Okay, and that's important to do. By the way, I just heard a report on, there was something about Florida Cares or Florida Help. I wrote about it too. Something in Florida. Florida Help with the governor down there and his wife put up a hotline for people struggling, and I forget what they call it in Florida. What financial? I'm trying to find it. God, I can't. But it's a clever little name, and it sounds like Find Help, but it's not. It's in Florida Cares, maybe. Who called it cash? Florida Forums, Assisted Living in Tampa, Florida Other Family Temporary. I don't know, but anyway, it sounds like something to stay away from because they're being investigated for siphoning off the money and putting it somewhere else into their campaigns versus trying to help people. So Find Help is always better. So go to findhelp.org, findhelp.org, put in your zip code, and then put in the subject you need money with. So if it's foreclosure, if it's for rent, if it's for fixing your roof on your house, anything, you put it there, and you'll get a wonderful curated listing of only people. See, when you do this, you only get people that give you money. That's all you get when you go to that findhelp.com, is only people that give you money. Okay, and that's what's important, that you realize that. The other kind of organizations is I put up another report that when you need extra money, okay, there's two ways to get it. You're not making ends meet, okay? So you have to find grants and other financial assistance. And by the way, besides grants, what the people can do for you is get rid of the bill. In other words, you owe money to your credit card, you owe money to somebody, and so that's your payments are going crazy like that. You could get free financial assistance to get rid of those payments, because people know you can't pay, and companies have a slush fund where they can forgive you money. The same way with banks, and everybody has that. So you have to find out, and particularly if you owe money to the government. They all have programs like you can't pay your property taxes. Okay, they have ways you don't have to, but you have to contact them to find out about them. You can't go to Google and find out about them. Rocky, go to findhelp.org. It's the same thing, anything. But what I want to talk about now is getting extra income besides the grants. So you have grants. Okay, one way to cope with the cost of living is apply to grants. Okay, where are they? The best place to start is findhelp.org. Put in your zip code, then put in what you want a grant for. Then after you see that listing of 70 people for rent or whatever it is, or even for home repair, and that's going to be like 100 or so, you have to start calling. Nothing will happen until you start calling people on the telephone. That's how you get problems solved. And you see that you've probably wasted the last 6 months on Google trying to find that magic place to apply to. You'll never find it that way, okay? Because there's no magic. The magic is you talking to people who are in the business of helping people like you. and they know the options, and they've studied that. And if one doesn't help you, you find another one. It's all a numbers game. It's like getting a job. If one company does not hire you, you go to the next company and ask them, and you keep doing that. And when the company says no, or the people say no about you getting a grant, then you say, hey, where else do you think I should go? Because they're more likely to know than anybody else. Why? Because they work with people like you every day. They're helping people like you every day. So they get that intelligence of what's going on out in America, of sources to help you solve that problem. Your friends and relatives and everybody you personally know doesn't do that every day. They don't know. You don't know. And Google, no, if you go there, Google just wants to get money from you. So, but you want to find the free things, not the people that want to get money from you. So you're trapped. And so you have to stay away from the swamp because you're either going to pay for something you didn't have to, pay for something that didn't work, or get scammed, and all those three don't sound like good options for people who don't have money. So that's why you have to stay away from that. You have to go to the people who are there in our country. That's right, 40% of everything in our country is people, I can't find the charts when I want to. 40% of all the people in this country give you money. Can you read that? 40% are there to give you money. We help each other. We live in a loving community that are there to help each other. That's what even Let's Go Help is. People, we have 15,000 members that help each other find these programs. Yeah. And that's what you have to do. You have to get the help to find the programs. You can't, because it's too complicated for anyone outside of where you live to know the website that's exactly for you. Only the people that live in your area know that. Because that's where it is. And the people in your area, you could find them by going to findhelp.org and put in your zip code and then put in the subject you need money for, even if it's just financial assistance or financial counseling. That's what you should do first, is get a free financial counseling to help you unravel this bucket of worms that you built, because you built this up probably for years, right? You don't get in trouble just overnight. Well, you do too, but most of us, it's just, little drops of water that, oh my God, I got a bucket full of this stuff and I'm screwed. So you have to get help to unravel that thing, and you can. So you go to findhelp.org and you put in financial counseling. I'm going to put it in for to show you what we get here. Financial counseling, okay, findhelp.org. Oh, it shows, I have 3,800 programs where I live. Financial counseling. Okay, okay, listen to this, okay, hold on to your seat. Okay, hold on tight. You got a seatbelt? You got a seatbelt in your chair? Put that on. Because here in my zip code, if you have financial problems, free financial counseling, 838 organizations. You hear that? 838 organizations. 838 organizations. 838 organizations to help you with free financial counseling. What the hell are you doing in Google? You want to spend money? Okay, I'm sorry. You have a right to spend money. Well, now to find the right one, you just keep calling, making a few phone calls. That's what it takes, no matter what you do, unless you want to lose more money. If you don't want to lose more money, you have to start calling people whose job it is to help people like you. And everyone, of course, can't help people like you, so you have to find the ones that do, and that's going to take a bunch of calls. And there's no shortcut to that. Okay, unless you don't want to solve your problem. You have something more important to do, fine. We all have something more important to do, and you could find it. I remember when I would do things like this in the beginning, because I was so afraid to call people, I would think of so many things that seemed more important to do than me trying to solve my problem. And I say things like, oh, I think the oven needs cleaning. Boy, look at that thing. I should clean that, right? So instead of making the phone calls, I spent the next hour and a half cleaning the oven. That's human nature. We're all human. It's okay to be human. But also there's humans out there to help you. And that's how you have to find it. You have to talk to humans, not the internet, because they want to sell you things. That's what the internet is for. That's capitalism. But that's only 60% of our economy is capitalism. 40% our economy is, your neighbor trying to help you. And they get paid to help you for free. So find your neighbor to help you who doesn't charge money, because they're getting paid already to help you for free. 40% of everything in our country are neighbors helping neighbors for free. And that's what Let's Go Help is about, but they get charged $20 a month. and the reason they help, because like me, they know it feels so good to help other people. So there's nothing better, I think, in life than helping somebody. Yeah, and that's what members of Let's Go Help do. They help each other find that. So please do that, okay? Now, so you want to go back to that, find help, or if you're a member, we have all the reports. You go over, unlock my goals. Look on the left-hand side of the member. There's a big table of contents of all the stuff we have. And one of the tabs is called Unlock My Goals. And in there are programs that you could use step by step for getting out of trouble and for solving your financial problems. There's one for getting out of debt and paying your bills. There's another one for starting a business. There's another one for buying a home. So it takes you through the process, who to call for buying a home. These are organizations to call where you live, and there'll be a listing and everything right there where you follow up and call to get it. If you go to Google, you're just going to real estate people that want to make money off of you. You don't have money, remember? You don't have money. And the real programs don't come from .coms, don't come from people making money. The real programs that give you money never make money from you, okay? So that's .gov or .org. So government and nonprofit organizations, they're the real ones, okay? You have to realize that. And that's how our system is set up. And that's why right now we have more billionaires in this town trying to find out more money to get from the government, because the government is the biggest source of free money in the world. Why are the billionaires here? Why is Elon Musk getting $8 million every day from the government, right? You'd think he's so smart he would get it from the markets, right? He believes in the marketing. Why doesn't he use the markets? No, he's no dummy. He knows there's more money in the government that give away for free than in the markets. So he doesn't have to be as smart. He just has to know how to use the government. And that's what he does very well. So when they say that we're a capitalist society, just 60% is capitalism. 40% is the community, where we help each other, and the fat cats know how to take advantage of that, and even now they're trying to get rid of a lot of programs that are helping people in tough times, like SNAP and Medicaid and things like that, so they could get more money for what they want to do, which is a tax cut, which is taking money out of our treasury and not giving it to people who need, but giving the money from our treasury to people who don't have a need. That's why when I started looking at these businesses, all these programs, and I'm from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and I didn't know anything about government programs, and I was helping fat cats do things in life, and I was finding all this stuff that they could use from Washington to do things in life. Wow, I didn't know anything about this. I thought the government was the IRS and the post office, and that was it. I had no idea that they give out $18,000 on the average to every single adult in America. Every year. Next year's gonna be the same thing. But it's gonna go more to fat cats, I think. But there's, it's amazing. So you have to use what's there, no matter what it is, because there's so much there. So we're talking about getting out of financial trouble yourself. Okay, so there's one, I beat the heck out of that horse for a while, okay? Now there's another thing you can do, is create your income more powerful, because then you don't have to rely on the government, okay? And because you have power over that money coming in by creating it, and you can. Now that's easier to do in our country than ever before in the history. I mean, I'm 80 years old. I've been hustling, trying to make a living for the last 50 some years at least. No, probably 60 years. I'm 80. I keep forgetting I'm 80. That means starting at about 20. But no, I was hustling in high school. My dad made me work in eighth grade. We had a little garment factory, he and his business partner, and he made me work on summers in the factory. Oh, I hated every fucking minute. I never want to do that. Yeah, but you do what you have to do to create income. First thing you have to do is take care of yourself, okay? So that's why we have programs there to help you take care of yourself or get out of financial trouble. But more importantly, I think what the programs are even better for you to grow and create your own money. What they have, what we have too, besides paying your bills, is growing you. We have programs that help you grow, programs that will teach you, give you free training to make, get a $100,000 a year job without going to college. There's so many places like that. And that's its abundance now. And what Trump is trying to bring manufacturing back now, man, we can't fill the manufacturing jobs we have now. Manufacturing is going, as a percentage of our population, I mean, to me, that's a wasted thing to work on. What are we going to make, T-shirts? We can't do that economically here. And the percentage of population, now here's the manufacturing. The jobs in the percent of our economy that's in manufacturing. Back in 1960, it represented almost 30% of everything in our economy was from manufacturing. Now, it's only 5%. So, I mean, and plus manufacturing, we manufacture things with a lot less people than they used to. This is, General Motors and all this kind of stuff was going on. People made 100 grand a year. Now, it's all run by computers. So, the amount of money, that's not the growth area anymore. I don't know why we want to make T-shirts or whatever the heck they want to make. They do it with less people, and it costs more to do most of the things they want to. It's crazy, But the manufacturing jobs now are plentiful. If you go now, they can't find people because you don't have skills to work in a manufacturing. You don't need muscles anymore. You need technology in your head, and you don't have to go to college for that. You could be trained and get paid. Trained. You could make $50,000 a year. How do you find those jobs where you are? It takes work. It takes calling people. The first people you want to call is on careeronestop.org. That's the first call you can make. Go to careeronestop.org and put in your zip code and call your local careeronestop.org and make an appointment. There's nothing that will happen unless you make an appointment. So you have to do that. Please do that. Help yourself, help your neighbor, help our country by you getting the skills you need to make a decent living, okay? And that's how you do it. Now, if that doesn't work, there's still more places to go. The other places you want to go is your local community colleges. They're getting lots of money to train you for skills, for anything, low-income skills. You want to be a truck driver, let's say. A lot of them have free training to be a truck driver. You can make $60,000, $70,000, driving trucks or working on windmills or whatever it is. There people are needing help, okay? And that's what it is. We don't have enough trained people. Because they don't have the skills, and it's not college skills you need. You need skills of trade skills. You want to be a carpenter and make $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year. Yes, and you can get trained for that for free. But not only train for free, they give you money while you're training. They give you money while you're training. That's what people don't realize. You get money while you're training in these things, and that's available for you. Just because you live in America. See, that's the other thing. Just because you live here, you have access to it. But it's not where you think it is. So you're going to go to Google, make a few calls, or try a few websites, and you won't know what the fuck it is, and you'll give up, and nobody answers you. You can't do that. There are going to be roadblocks in everything in life. You have to plow through that. That's what we have, Let's Go Help. That's why we have 15,000 people helping each other. They know it takes that. And that's why you could come back and ask another question. Hey, I'm getting screwed here, there, whatever. And what it takes to get through that hump that you have to get through to able to live the life that you deserve. But it's not going to be handed to you. You have to do the work to get it. Okay, now the other way, besides getting the skills, getting the grants, getting skills to earn more money, getting grants to pay off bills and get out of financial trouble, is to create income. And you could create income at any age, any skill level, with no technology, anything. There's so many ways to do it now, and that's because the internet. So I know you're on the internet because you're watching me, right? So that is a given. So as long as you're on the internet, you could get these jobs that pay. Maybe, the low end would be $15 an hour. The high end would be $50 an hour, and most of them are about $20 an hour or so, at least for the non-skilled, doing stuff like clipping coupons or reviving. Let's see, I have a website here. Where is it? Okay, no, that's not there. What did you do? Okay, here's the website that